No reason for a stupid deer to be out there on a stupid runway running around. It ain't no grass out there. The grass at the airport is only this tall. What are they doing? Schmack! Guess what? We hit a deer with my airplane. Ugh. All right, guys, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. This is not about farming, and I hope you can appreciate it. I have a love and a passion for a lot of things in my life, and aviation is one of those things that I have a passion for. I've always wanted to get my pilot's license. I've always wanted to learn how to fly. I love it. I enjoy it. It's something that's super special to me. And this is my plane. I say it's my plane, but I'm actually partners with 3 other guys on this plane. And we share all the expenses, which is a pretty cool, inexpensive way to get into aviation, which I really like. So this is my plane that I'm using for training. I'm using it for, well, it's all training right now. I don't have my ticket. They call it your ticket. We'll be taking my written test here sometime before January 1st, and hopefully I'll be getting my ticket by taking my check ride test sometime within the next 3 months or so, something like that. I've got about 60, maybe 70 hours in this plane right now, so I've got a lot of experience in it, but I'm still not super proficient. So 2 of my partners the other night were out here flying, and we are at my local airport, which is only literally 5 minutes from here. It's 4 to 5 miles from the Stoney Ridge Farm. Beautiful little airport. This is called Shiloh. It's just a beautiful little airport. This is my airplane, November 7201 Whiskey, and it is a 1963 Piper PA-28 Cherokee 180. So this is a Cherokee 180. Nice little plane, but you know, it's a little bit on the dirty side right now. It's got greasy fingerprints all over it. It needs a paint job. We're getting ready to work on the interior. I'll be replacing the entire interior on this plane. So this is kind of a work in progress. I'm not a rich guy. I'm just a guy that wants to learn how to fly, and he wants to be safe. Now, that's what this video is all about. So safety, safety, safety. This time of year, we are in the rut, meaning the rut for deer, meaning the deer are trying to reproduce. The male deer, the bucks, are chasing the does. They're running around like crazy. They're all over the roads. I don't understand why a deer must think that this is a big rock and it needs to run around out here on it. No reason on earth for a stupid deer. I'm mad at deer, by the way, right now because my airplane's tore up and I've hit several with cars. No reason for a stupid deer to be out there on a stupid runway running around. It ain't no grass out there. The grass at the airport is only this tall. What are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they there? This time of year, a good friend of mine is an insurance guy, and his airplane's right over there. John tells me that they get a lot more claims this time of year because people are hitting deer. I don't know why deer like to frolic about in the road and on pavement, but it's maybe maybe it's genetic. I don't know. So let's get down and dirty. Here's what happened. 7201 Whiskey came down approximately 9:45, 9:30, something like that. Don't quote me on the time because I wasn't in the plane. My buddy Mike and Cherokee Dan, we call him Cherokee Dan, was flying the plane. When they came down, they buttered the landing, doing some proficiency stuff at night, learning how to land at night. Not learning how to land at night, but basically staying proficient. You've got to do this stuff over and over and over again. You got to keep yourself familiar with your aircraft. So they came down on this runway right here. They touched down. They slowed down to about 30, 40 miles an hour, and this is the story that they told me. Typically when we're landing at just under 80 miles per hour. That's ground speed across the ground in this airplane. Cruising speed on this plane is anywhere from 110 to 120 miles an hour, depending on how fast you want to go. So, and depending on whether you're talking ground speed or air speed. So they were on the ground, cruising along, and all of a sudden, clink, they're on the ground. They're already on the ground. And a deer jetted out into the runway and ran into the darn airplane. Ooh! So here's what it did, and we're talking, it's super expensive to fix a plane. Everything has to be inspected and approved by an FAA-approved mechanic. It has to be inspected. It has to be done right. Everything has to be done super safe. So this, although it looks like a tiny amount of damage, is $15,000 to $25,000 worth of damage. And if that deer, we got to have it inspected, and if that deer struck that prop, that means the whole engine has to be torn down and put back together. That is super, super serious. When a prop strikes, whether it strikes the ground, whether it strikes an object, whether it strikes a bird, I'm not sure about the bird thing, you guys post down there, but whether it strikes anything, it has to be inspected, and it has to be torn down to inspect it, because the prop is basically connected right up with some gearing to the drive shaft on, the crankshaft on the engine. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. So let's go over and I'll show you guys the damage. This isn't that bad, doesn't look that bad to me, but it's really going to affect the aerodynamics of this plane. So is it safe to fly? Our mechanic is coming up today to take a look and see if we can get it back to the other airport where I keep this. I don't keep it here at my local airport. I keep it at a little airport called Air Harbor in Greensboro. So let's walk around this real quick and show you what we got. From what I can tell, the deer struck, and you can see there are greasy fingerprints all over this. This was the shakedown run, so we just had this thing annualed, and every year you have to have an aircraft like this annualed. They have to go through, pull off all sorts of panels, inspect everything, check for oil leaks, check the fuel lines, check everything from top to bottom, from tip to tip, top to bottom. Everything has been checked over, from your brakes to your tires to your prop to everything. It's all been checked over. However, it has not been washed since, so you'll see greasy fingerprints and stuff. From what I can tell here, and they don't have a video of the deer strike. They do have a video of the landing, and I'll post that as I'm talking a little bit here. And they do have a little graphic. I say just, it's not really graphic, but it is the deer that was struck, and a little shot of the runway too. They had to call the local sheriff's office to dispatch the deer after this, because it didn't immediately terminate the deer. So they had to call out the terminators from my local county to take care of it and put it out of its misery, which sucks. And I'm sorry for the deer, but I'm not sorry for the airplane. And we're going to talk about hunting pressure here in just a minute. So it looks to me, and this is what, from what I can tell, let's just move my prop over just a little bit here. It looks to me that the deer struck here, right in here. We got some crackage going on right here. We got a little crackage going on right there. Got a little bit right up under here, and a little dirt under there. It looks to me like the deer hit right here, kind of rumbled up under there. It looks like it hit the nose gear ever so slightly, but really didn't hurt much of anything there. I can't see any evidence of it hitting the prop, which is a good thing. But I do see, as we look under here, some crackage going on right there. Now, was that there before? This plane needs a paint job. It's in desperate need of a paint job, and which would make it look brand spanking new. It does not look brand spanking new right now. So it looks like to me it struck here. There's a little crack right here, but maybe it didn't. Maybe the initial strike was right here. I'm just speculating on the front end of this machine. So as we come along right here, we will see our wing has got a significant dent in it. I'll show you the other side in just a minute. We'll get you an image of that. So that's what it's supposed to look like, and that's what it does look like. It peeled back the seal off of the fuselage right here, and you can see that that's fairly loose. This is enough to cause enough aerodynamic drag to really cause some damage on this plane. It looks like it did not affect the top of the wing. However, I do see a little crackage right there. I'm not too sure, but it caved it in right here. Smack. Okay, it hit right there. It hit right here. It rolled up under the wing. It hit right there. There's another dent there. This is crinkled right here. You're gonna get down and dirty right here. Get underneath this thing. And it hit the gear, the landing gear right here. You can actually see the deer hair right there. This is where we sump the fuel right here. You can see the deer hair on that. As I said, this plane needs a paint job, guys. It really does. So it smacked the gear right here, smacked it right there. So this whole gear housing right here is not in good shape, and it kind of tore off another rubber seal that you see right here. This little caved in spot right here is not good, okay? It is not good. Let's go over to the other wing and we'll show you what it's supposed to look like underneath that wing, okay? In case you guys don't know, the lift from an airplane, from the wing, the aerodynamic lift, doesn't come from the wing hitting the air like this. You know, you stick your hand out the car window and you raise it up like that and it's like, whee, you know, you're doing that. It doesn't come from that. It actually comes from the air toppling over the wing and providing lift, the low pressure, and more on that in the future video. So as we look under right here, this wing does not have that undercut, okay? It's straight as an arrow here, and it is not undercut like it is over there. So let's look at this again real quick, and now you get an image of what it looks like on the other side. And I'm not sure that this airplane is going to be airworthy. Again, our mechanic will have to come up here and take a quick look at it. So now you can really tell this is a really concave area right here. Some of the rivets are trying to pop out. I don't know if this is dented beyond repair or if they can just replace this piece right here. So this is one solid piece. It's the leading edge of the wing. So what is the lesson here? Why are we out here talking about this? Guys, there is not enough hunting pressure. Less and less people are out there hunting deer. The deer have no keystone predators around here, and I don't know if it's the same way where you live as compared to where I live, but there are too many deer. They are overpopulated and they're beginning to get diseases like chronic wasting syndrome, or CWD, chronic wasting disease, I believe is what it's called. They're beginning to get sick and die. They're overpopulated. They're like rats. They're running around everywhere. They eat your garden. They eat your they eat your shrubs. They tear your yard up. They tear your trees up, and evidently they tear your stinking airplane up. If any of you guys have hit a deer, please tell me this story down there. I'd love to hear back from you. The lesson to be learned, if you are in aviation, this is a good reminder. If you fly, or if you know someone that does fly, share this video with them, guys. Or if you know somebody that's just interested in this, share this video with them, because this is a wonderful reminder. At nighttime, when you're landing, things come out of nowhere very quickly. And when bad things happen in an aircraft, they happen so fast and so violently that this could have been so much worse. I'm so glad that my friends, my partners on this airplane, I don't care about the damage. I'm so glad that they are okay. We have insurance. The insurance is going to cover it. I don't know what it's going to cost. But my guess is over $20,000. When you're flying like this, the other day, a good friend of mine was flying out here. They overflew the runway, okay? So overflying this may have been prevented. It may not have been prevented because, again, it's the rut. But just going out and overflying the runway here and doing a go-around and clearing the runway, making sure everything is okay. And again, I'm not a full-on pilot yet, but I do know that it's better to be safe than sorry. Overfly the runway and try to clear out any deer that might be on the runway, especially this time of year. So guys, just please be aware, be conscious that deer can be out on the runway, deer can be anywhere. Even if you're driving your car, just be conscious. No matter what, seems like the horn doesn't work, swerving at them, lights, nothing works, because deer have been around for tens of thousands of years, right? And planes and cars have only been around for about 100 years. So genetically, they're not, they don't respond to it. Just like Canadian geese walking across the road. They don't know what the heck it is. I don't blame the deer, and I don't blame the guys that were flying the plane. I just think the whole thing sucks. Guys, thanks a lot. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we'll be bringing you some more awesome content here. I want to make sure that I'm super proficient before I take you up in this plane and we go enjoy a wonderful flight together. It's going to be so cool, so fun, so fun. Thank you guys so much. Hit that like button. Let me know if you learned something in this video. See you next time.
Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Wow. Y'all come back now. You hear?